Two.
Good morning and welcome back to the Opportunistic Trader for the last day of the month, 1/31/19, the first month of the year, the best month, best start basically in the history of the stock market, or at least since I've been in the business. So the market's up about 7-ish%. We'll see where we close. This is a triple top area in here that I saw on the chart pattern. So we'll see. Market doesn't look great this morning. Overall, overseas, Asia slightly higher, and I mean slightly higher. Europe is lower again. The DAX has had 2 days of lower, which is surprising. It was down yesterday into up action here. So I'm expecting a 15 to 20 handle SPOO sell-off minimum today, but we'll see if we get that. Volatility is at 17.5 after the Fed came out yesterday with the same comments of how dovish they are. The market volatility came in. Gold, obviously, Vince covered in the last half hour, is exploded to the upside. It's really run about 100. It's almost gotten back 75% of the crazy down move it had yesterday. So, the trend looks like it's intact, and I think people are on board. Banking sector looks a little bit weak today. I want to tout my position in GE. GE had earnings today, and the stock is almost in double digits. It's 9.92. At 10, it's in double digits. So it's almost in double digits, but I think most of their problems are out of the way. The stock is really, really cheap. This is the kind of thing Warren Buffett's been looking for the last 10 years in my mind. So we'll see if.
And by the way, Larry, just to interject one thing, no news came out that he sold his Apple. So I'm kind of like thinking maybe he really is going to be buying something like GE. He probably has a lot more cash than we know.
What happened in Apple?
Nothing happened. My point is, we've been joking about when is Warren Buffett going to sell his Apple? Or
Never.
That's insane.
He'll definitely be dead before they make a sale.
Yeah.
So, but Apple's had a big move back. It's rallied $25 off the bottom. All these stocks, Facebook, $45 off the bottom.
Who's a logical buyer of GE? Really, I'm not trying to trap you. I mean, would it be like a Buffett type, or would it be like another industry?
I don't know.
But I mean, they've got to have something worth buying there. I mean, maybe McDonnell Douglas. Who knows?
No, I think their businesses are okay. They got rid of the DOJ today. They paid them $1.5 billion to go away. They went away. The earnings were better. So, we'll see.
That's a sign.
Listen, it's not really. It's not really a rah-rah stock. It's the opposite of Amazon that moves 50 points a day.
They're cleaning themselves up, getting ready for a sale. I've seen that in a lot of gold miners. They start to settle deals, saying get it off their plate because they're getting ready to package themselves. Maybe that's happening now. That might be a good move.
Yeah, it's possible. We'll see. Stock's still under $10. We'll see how it trades today. Overall, I don't really see, Nike's creep back up above $80 a share. Stocks have really come back a lot. So we'll see. Also in the news front, I saw on my headlines that Trump is supposed to meet Xi at the end of the month. So we'll see if they get something in China done. I mean, I don't know how. I am long China, but I don't know how they're going to get anything meaningful done. But, that's been a good trade as well this year. But I think that's just following the market in general. Other than that, gold's really the big mover. So you're really number one right now, top of the plate. That's really been the biggest mover in here, along with the S&P. Bonds are still moving up. I think the yield on the 10-year is about 266-ish.
Yeah, 267. And really, I was just looking at the front end. The 2 years now 250. That got clobbered because that was closer to 260 when the 10-year was 275. So really, the Fed kind of really clobbered the front end.
Yeah, so it's more of that flattener, and it's funny. I think some of the curve is inverted, but doesn't matter now. But that one day it mattered. I remember one day it was like, oh my God, yield curve inversion. So just heads up, the first down day, they're gonna blame it on the yield curve. So just be ready. Be ready for the yield curve inversion. And overall, I heard you guys overheard you guys talking about Bitcoin. I mean, that thing is. I think it's got to go below 3,000. It just keeps sitting here and sitting here and sitting here, and it doesn't break. So it's either going to break one way or the other. But it just seems there's such a lack of interest in this thing. I've never seen anything go from a year ago gangbusters where you couldn't hold the volume down to where it doesn't even trade. It literally trades by appointment only. It's like a dust zone. So
they broke it. I mean, when they listed it, they broke it. It's like when they listed gold in the 80s, they broke it, but they killed the volatility. Meanwhile, as a trading vehicle, yeah, it's dead for us right now, for people like us. But it's getting adopted, whether rightfully or wrongly, slowly by more and more pay systems because of its lower volatility now. So it goes from being a wealth creator to being this, basically PayPal type of thing.
I wouldn't take that. I wouldn't take that in payment unless I could dish it very quickly.
Did Zuckerberg mention on the conference call yesterday anything about take that Winklevoss brothers? As Facebook's up 10% and Bitcoin's just above 3,000?
That's funny. That's true. Unfortunately, in terms of justice, I think the Winklevoss brothers probably sold futures.
I agree.
I mean, that's the whole point of listing it. But I have no love or hate for.
Well, there was a lot of rumors, not necessarily them, but it was them. But some others, big holders from early days, were waiting for the listing of the futures to basically get a way to get some liquidity and start to get short.
Sure,
or not short. I'm sorry, not short, but trim their long.
Right, absolutely. In 3 bullet points, you got people that are long forever that believed in it, or were involved in it. Like we'll use Winklevoss as a patron saint of that concept, right? You've got J.P. Morgan saying Bitcoin sucks. The day later, he goes, "Oh no, Bitcoin's okay because it's going to be listed and because we're going to have customers that are going to be trading it." They get sell side business, which is kind of like if you're a gold miner or an oil producer, you go to a bank and you say, "I want to hedge my production." So the Winklevosses of the world that are long, they go to Goldman, they go to J.P. Morgan, they say, "All right, I want to hedge my longs," and the retail gets told to buy it. Taxi cab drivers are buying it. My cousin across the table from me in November 2017 was like, "I can't wait for it to be listed. I want to buy it." And I can just see that the bank's just going, "Yours." And that market just gets crushed because now you have, if you're a gold bug, and I don't ascribe to this, but if you have a product that has 1 million notional, that you can create 10 million notional in futures to short it, well, guess what? You're going to keep a lid on it, especially when you borrow from the Fed at 0%. And this had to happen. I mean, it had to happen. And I'm not speaking in hindsight. I said this in December 2017. It's on the record. Futures will kill volatility and put a cap on this market because the Winklevoss types need to get out. But geez, $3,000, I don't think it would go that low. And now it could go even lower. It's crazy.
Yeah, it does look poised for lower levels potentially. Tracy brought up the charts and clearly showed that, these sideways triangles are pointing lower, each of them. So we'll see.
Right. And I got a breakout today. So if John, I apologize if I go long, but I really think I'm probably going to go short the way this is going right now. But I don't know yet. But there's another leg moving in this market soon. I just don't know where. GE earnings highlights are out, by the way, Larry.
Yeah.
Revenue 33.3 billion, cash flows from operating activities of 6.4 billion. I don't know if that's good or bad. You probably have a better handle on it.
No, the stock just traded at 10.04. It actually was in double digits for a second, but they sold it quickly off. Nothing there. The big divergence today that I'm looking at is Europe. DAX is on or near the low. Our S&P is unchanged. I guess we're taking the lead from Facebook, but I think Microsoft had a small miss yesterday. I think that's down a couple of dollars. That should wipe out the whole Facebook move. And in general, markets look mixed. And to me, the market looks toppy. It's not to say it can't have another leg, but it looks a little bit toppy. They've had an unbelievable run here. This year, and I've said it before, and I still go with this. We're going to have a dislocated trade. We're going to have a day where we have what I call the holy shit day, where you basically just say that. You don't even know you're saying it, but you're saying it. And it's happened, many times in trading, where you're like amazed. And I think we're going to have one of those days, minimum this year, where we're amazed at the move. So that's what I'm looking for on that.
I just wanted to comment on a few things. Yesterday we were talking about the straddles on a number of these names that were coming out with earnings. And Facebook, it was about a $12 straddle. It's right now up 16, so that's a larger move than expected. Whereas Tesla, we were looking at a $30 straddle, and we were looking at the 300 level or 295, and right now it's right on 298. So that's been a vol crusher there in Tesla.
Yeah.
What were the other ones? Microsoft as well, only down 2.5%, very small. I think that was looking for about a 5% move. So
Apple had a outsized move. They were looking for $7 or $8, and they got 11 or 10, but not anything crazy outside the box. So really, stuff has been fairly contained in here, and we're going through the cycle. I'm going out on the limb and gonna say that Amazon is gonna miss numbers today or trade lower. I don't know if they're gonna miss. They may make and then trade lower. Stocks had an unbelievable move, but overall, earnings have been mixed. Some of the bigger names have done better, and some of the others haven't. You have Caterpillar blowing up and Boeing killing the numbers. So there's a lot of mixed signals in the economy moving
Amazon,
forward.
the straddle's like $95.
Yeah.
$95 in Amazon.
But on a percentage basis,
it's not that much.
A lot.
It's really not.
$100 is
but
what?
I do like the
4%.
idea I do like the idea that maybe I'm not saying it the way Larry's thinking it, but buy the rumor, sell the news. You've had a run up because of the December 24th PPT. You've had a run up on rumors of good stuff coming out of Amazon, and you've got earnings coming out today. I think in 2 or 3 scenarios, Amazon goes down. This is a Tom McEntee mystery. We have to see what he wants to do with options today at 2:00. Right?
Well, that's against the grain, as far as
You mean selling, buying the rumor and then selling?
Well, no, just being short Amazon. There are not a lot of. That's like betting against Brady this weekend.
I know.
That's a good analogy. Great analogy.
You don't want to get bet against Amazon or Brady. Right. It's like the same thing.
Right. Brady gets caught cheating, buy him. Jeff Bezos cheating on his wife, buy it.
Listen, on a side note, Brady has probably cost me more money than anyone in the NFL. The guy is so money.
People have been shorting Amazon since like $700.
Exactly. and it's funny. You have to appreciate greatness. So I'm now in awe of Brady and appreciating his greatness. So I guess we'll see.
Well, what you're saying is then you should be buying Amazon is what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, I know. I'm saying, it could break me. But, Amazon, I think Bezos was too worried about his girlfriend. So we'll see if he, was focused for the quarter. But again, Cloud, the interesting thing is Cloud has done well across the board in all these companies from IBM to, Microsoft and all these cloud. And Amazon is by far the biggest. This AWS is like the biggest cloud company in the world. So
they are the reason Netflix broadcasts. AWS is massive.
Yeah. So the bottom line is they should have a good number, but I'm going against the grain. And I'm not betting against Brady in the Super Bowl, but I'm going against the grain in Amazon, and we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. GE's had a big move. It's up. It's funny. This is what's really funny about the market and being in it so long. Nobody cares really about a stock like GE. Okay, and the funny thing about GE is you could buy so much of it. So GE is actually, if we look at it right now, is up almost the same amount of percent as Facebook. Okay. One is up 10.5%, and the other's up 10.7, actually 11 now in Facebook. And it's funny because really, GE was probably the safer play because it's such a low cap stock, but no one cares about it. Everybody's in Amazon and Amazon options and this and that. So, it's funny that they're up the same percentage, but literally, if we have traders in our building in many offices here, and if I went in there, there's not one person that had a position in GE, and
But
everybody
isn't
had a
that the way we
position in
operate?
Facebook.
We're active traders, but as investors, you should be buying GE. As an active trader, you should be
Yeah, but I'm
buying
just looking
GE.
percent to percent. It's the same percent, so it didn't matter if you bought, the dollar amount of GE or the dollar amount of Facebook. And the funny thing is, you could have bought so much more Facebook.
Maybe it
so
really
much
is
more
all just
GE
headline
versus
algos,
Facebook.
headline searching algos, just buying because it's a positive headline. Who the heck knows? But
Yeah.
GE is an investment. I think GE is an investment.
Yeah, well, I think GE also comes in value, but their bonds are actually true. And downgraded.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I mean,
this guy is a
there's
genius. This guy Culp done this before. Clean up the balance sheet, they're making settlements now. Really, the big exposure was this GE Financial, and they've taken most of that off the table. I mean, they don't really have that much exposure, on the accounting level. They settled that accounting case today. So overall,
So question for you on the broader markets, Larry. Here we are, 2681 in the S&P. We've had a huge move in December down, then a huge move in January back up. What are your thoughts here? Is this something where, you mentioned we have the China meeting with Trump at the end of, I believe, next month, and is this a level that, taking out all the chop recently, that you'd like to get long, like to get short?
no, I think this is a great level to get short. It's a triple top. I was saying that earlier today and yesterday. We're on the top of the channel. We actually came out a little bit, but we're right back in now. I think this is the highs of this, barring some crazy news. The S&P for the month, I think, is up about 6.5%. That's a great year, actually. So, people should be happy they had a great year this month. No, it's actually up more. It's up 7% for the month. 7. And that's amazing. And last month we cratered and we went down. I think we were down 9. Or actually, I think we came back. We might only been down.
Back. It was December 26th. We got crushed, and then
No, we were down 13, and then we ended down like 5 or 4.
No, it was more.
Was it?
Last month.
Right. So we're up what we were down last month. Why don't you see what the settlement was at the end of November? That would be the interesting thing to look at, is where the S&P settled the end of November, because I'll bet you we're not plus or minus a couple of percent from that, but yet we've been everywhere. But, the mantra is intact in general, that, the bottom line is you buy every dip, and it worked. We literally were in a bear market for a day. We were in a bear market for one day.
December 2nd, we settled at 2636. But that was November 25th, we're 2758.
No. Where were we on the last day of November?
I think the 24th was that.
We had the last day of November. Right? I think it's the 30th. What was the settlement on November 30th? That would be the interesting one to look at. I bet it's right around here.
Guys, I'm going to jump. I'll see you in the chat room.
Okay.
2758, November 30th. And then remember, we had the G20 meeting came out, I think that day or the next day, and we rallied up to 28.14 in the futures.
On the
G20 news. Everything was great at G20, everything's going to be great.
It was like the same thing when he went to China. He had a signed deal, but there was no deal. So, but anyway, the markets are looking a little heavy. The DAX is actually down on the low, down 70 now. When we started, it was down 30. So that's coming off. And overall, Apple's up small. Don't like that name. Facebook's up 15. Not really opinionated in that name. Looking for Amazon to miss tonight. I want to get on tomorrow, hopefully, and gloat that we had that one. Financials look weak, but overall, the market is obviously finishing an extremely strong month, up 7%, which is, we got to go back and have this information of what the best January starts are. And this has got to be, I know they were talking when it was up 5 that was the best since 1987, which is pretty much since I've been in the business.
Last year we had a good January, and then really it was like Feb 1, Feb 2, we got crushed. And, it was the beginning of February, we had a lot of volatility. It wasn't as good as this January by any means. It was probably up 3, 4, 5%.
No, we went, we were up a little, and then we got crushed, and the market was actually down about 6% for the year, or 7%. But that was the fake product that they blew up. they literally had a stock go down $100 in 10 minutes so that they could destroy a put warrant and kill people. So I don't think we're going to get that one at all. This this February, I think it's probably going to be stagnant, but I do look for middle of the year, back half of the year to have a pretty big sell-off, and potentially, depending on how everything goes, maybe have another down year back to back, which would really hurt some people here. So anyway, we're going to sign off. I wish everyone a great trading day, and we will be in the chat, and we look forward to hearing from everybody, and we wish everybody a great trading day. Good luck.